Okay, last week we really dug into how to make good passwords and why we need good passwords and how to protect our accounts as best as we can with multi-factor authentication, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're going to look at one specific password manager to help us keep track of all the different websites and passwords and secure notes and be able to synchronize those between computers. Now, of course, with a password manager, you get the convenience of having all of your secure passwords in one place. That means all of your passwords are in one place, and you have to have a really good password for that. And then, just like one of my good clients, she would lose her password manager password occasionally, and then she would have to go say I forgot my password on every website that she was at. So pros and cons here, but we're going to focus on Bitwarden. Bitwarden is open source and free. They have paid versions that give you extra features, but it's open source free. It works on your mobile device, it works on your desktop, it works on your all your favorite browsers, anywhere that we need it. You can even just run it on the desktop and not have it anywhere else. It's a good option to start. So you can see Bitwarden, it has this same theme. Here's a couple, I grabbed this from their website, a couple different views from the desktop and the web and the mobile device and a tablet over here. So what is Bitwarden? Bitwarden is, it's a made up word. It's a combination of obviously bits, binary digits, and some sort of safekeeper, but it's just a tool to securely keep track of your passwords. It's a highly encrypted set of information that you can unlock with your password. You can make it so that only you can unlock it, and that way you can have a place where you can access all those saved credentials. It also can manage your passkeys for you and synchronize those between devices. It can keep track of addresses and credit cards if you want to autofill. And it takes that work that the browsers have been doing for us. It's a nice feature that Safari and Firefox and Chrome will remember and autofill for us. But with Bitwarden, we get that in a secured, reliable, third-party tested system that we can trust anywhere we go on any computer. So really, why use it? I think that it comes down to our password security is the number one. If we create a long and strong password for a website, well, that's fine. But eventually, even with your best memory, you get to 30, 25, 30 passwords, you might not be able to remember them all. So a password manager can help us get to those 400, 500. I have almost 900 username and password combinations in my password manager right now. Well, this week when I checked. There could be more at the moment. I'm saving them all the time. You can use the password manager to automatically make those long and strong passwords and save them for you. So I can honestly say I just don't know most of my passwords. Even under duress, I couldn't tell you what the password is to my Outlook account. I've never seen it. I don't know what it is. It's saved in the password manager. And the other thing that the password manager does that's really important and a little bit underrated is, let's say you save your password for, we'll just use PayPal as an example because 20 years ago they used to do phishing on PayPal. Let's say you save your password for paypal.com and you get a phishing link that takes you to something that looks like paypal.com, but it isn't. Well, your password manager doesn't care what it looks like. It says, I don't know this domain, and it doesn't offer you any passwords to fill. So you click the icon and it doesn't offer you a password, and you say, boy, I thought I had a PayPal login. And then you realize, oh, I'm not at PayPal, or you're not at your bank site or whatever the site is. So the password manager can help protect you from that as well. And then, of course, we have the passwords are all encrypted. It should be that only you or your authorized person, maybe you give your spouse or your one of your trusted kids, the username and password, and the two-factor authentication. So only you can log in, or whoever you specifically designate. But if somebody, a bad actor in another part of the country, like that probably African spam SMS that I got, if somebody there gets it, they can't just look into your password database. Not yet. Maybe when quantum computing comes along and ruins everything for us. No, no. If theoretically a quantum computer 100 years from now could break our encryption, but we'll have different encryption by then. So when we make our account, that's the good password. That's the one we need to take centuries to crack. The long one that we have to remember, probably a passphrase, something like that. That's the one that you make yourself a note in your wallet so you don't forget it. You put it in your safe, you lock it up in your drawer, you write it in your password book that nobody has access to so that you can remember it and type it, but nobody else can guess it. And if you lose that password, well, it's gone forever. So how do we get started with Bitwarden? I'll walk through some of the steps in the presentation for the video for YouTube, and then when we stop, we'll go into the lab portion and we'll do everything hands-on, do some examples, saving access to websites, etc. So you go to bitwarden.com, you'll create a new account, you'll use your email, and then come up with a good password. Then once you have an account, and I'll show you some screenshots in a minute. Once you have an account, let's say you're going to Facebook. You're checking on your kids on Facebook. You say, oh, let me add my Facebook credentials. You click add item. It will probably identify you're already at Facebook. You could add the website manually. You could type in your username and password. You click save. The next time you go to Facebook, it's going to pop up and say, do you want me to fill in the login information for you? The first time that happens for you, you'll realize, oh, I just saved 5 seconds of time, but 100 times a day, all day, every day. It's very nice. So your vault kind of looks like this, where you'll have my vault over here. We won't have any organizations, but you'll have your Gmail and your Facebook and whatever else that you're using. Obviously, the screenshot's a little old because this should say x.com and it shouldn't have a bird there. So as you're using the web, you'll save your website information and it will keep it here. But you can also, you'll notice they have credit cards, so you can put in your credit cards and debit cards. That way you don't have to save it in the browser. I mean, Chrome is a great browser and Google spends a lot of money working on security, but Chrome also has extensions, and it's possible that if your credit card information is saved in Chrome, that somehow that could get to a third party. So that doesn't happen when we use Bitwarden. So we save our identities here, our credit cards. You put your secure notes, things you need to keep in here, like all my kids' birthdays and driver's license numbers. I'll put all those in secure notes. You have some opportunities to organize. If you like to organize with folders or different collections, those options are all there for you. Once you have your information in, for example, I'll fill out a form and I need to put in the Saddleback College address. Now you might remember the address on Marguerite Parkway with the city and the zip code. I don't know why you would, but I don't remember it. So I put it in to Bitwarden, and when I need to fill it out, I just click autofill and it adds all that. So we'll go through this in the lab also. It has a built-in password generator, and we can choose, how do we want to make our passwords? 12 characters, 14? Do we want to make passphrases? We can also make usernames, and it will integrate with certain email services to make, like duck.com, to make our random emails for us. It works on your phone. Here, I'm just going to skip to this slide. It works on iOS and Android, and this is why I put this in the PowerPoint for you Android users. Because if I show you Bitwarden on my phone, on Android, on an iPhone, I'm only showing you iPhone. But can you tell from the pictures which one is iPhone and which one is Android? Now, put the pictures on the slide, and I think they switched on me. I'm pretty sure the one on my left is the iPhone. It has the iPhone looking cellular bars and Wi-Fi icons. And I'm pretty sure the one on my right is the Android. But the app works and looks exactly the same. And it's going to be the same in Chrome or Firefox, whether you're using Windows or you're using Mac OS or you're on a Chromebook or you're one of those brave people using Linux somehow on their desktop. Now, if you're already using Chrome to save all your passwords and you decide you want to move to Bitwarden, Chrome and Firefox, and actually the Apple Passwords Manager does too, they give you the option to export all of your saved passwords. And that's going to put it to a file on your desktop called a CSV file. It usually opens with Excel, that comma separated value file. You just import that right into Bitwarden. And that's part of the no lock-in. With Bitwarden, you're never stuck. You can always say export all my passwords and just go back to wherever you want to go or switch to the next great password manager. It's nice to have the option to go in and out of the password manager if you need to. For example, I was a LastPass user for many years. I paid so I could use it on mobile and desktop. LastPass had a very severe breach, and it came to light that LastPass had not been updating their customers' database files as security increased over the years. So I checked my security. My security was as good as it could have been. And then I exported all of my information from LastPass, brought it right over with me to Bitwarden. So what are our best habits? I always set up two-factor authentication for my Bitwarden account. That means even if somebody does get my password and they know what email I use, they can't log in without my special time-based one-time passcode. When you pay a little bit extra, you can use another service like I also use Duo. So there's a free Duo account, and that sends a push notification to my phone, but that's a paid feature. You don't really need it. I sort of set my vault so that when I'm not using them, they'll lock. I don't need my password vaults just open 24/7. So I just let them get old, and then as I'm adding passwords, it will tell me if a password is weak or if it's been breached, so I'll try and update those as I go along. When you open up your vault, if your laptop has a fingerprint reader, like my Mac laptop does, you have the option of using your fingerprint to unlock it instead of typing your master password all the time. That is really nice. And on a Safari on my laptop, I can use the fingerprint reader to unlock it. Probably with Chrome, I could also, but I didn't double check that today. Firefox on my laptop, I have to type the password in. But on the Vault, on the laptop that has a fingerprint reader and Safari, I can just unlock it that way. That is very convenient. And then it doesn't really bother me to have the Vault lock all the time. So one thing we want to do, don't use the same password everywhere. I know we talked about that last week. Thought it'd be a nice little addition to add on. Don't keep a file on your computer that says passwords and that has your Bitwarden master password in it. Make that file, print it, and then delete the file from your computer so that you have a printout of your master password that you put in your safe or in your drawer, or maybe write it down on a piece of paper. And if you forget your master password, you probably just have to start over. Unfortunately, that's the way to go. So you can back up your vault. I do that occasionally, probably not as much as I should. That way, in case something goes wrong, you don't have internet access, you still have a copy of everything up to date. And let's just go, let's give it a use. Looks like I forgot to put my big thank you slide on there. So I'll end this video now, and then we'll take some questions before we head to the lab. Thanks.